Tchaikovsky?
No, but in Spanish.
Ah, okay. So, здравствуйте, buenas tardes o buenas noches desde la sala Tchaikovsky. Un saludo para Guitar Magazine y estoy muy contento de estar aquí por la tercera vez en este festival, que para mí es quizá el más importante del mundo, en cualquier caso mi favorito, así que es un honor y os mando a todos un saludo desde aquí. Gracias. Gracias.
Playing a lot of arrangements, you think that guitar is going different direction than if you're playing some traditional, let's say, traditional repertoire?
I think we all know about the potential of the instrument and that it's a very popular instrument within the popular and folk music, and that we don't have to prove anything else. But I always see the guitar as a very capricious lady, you know, who always like to dress differently every night, you know, and it's like tonight we are going to dress like Beethoven, and then we are going to dress like Fernando Sor, and then we are going to dress like Paco de Lucia, maybe in the end we are going to dress like Gershwin, for example, you know. And I think because it's an instrument that is present in almost every country in the world, somehow she's always pretty and beautiful.
Sure. After all your performances, I've heard it quite a lot. I think you have some kind of a concept of what to do on the guitar in order to do something, in order to achieve something. So what is your concept?
Well, what I wanted to do in this program for tonight was really to separate both sides of the guitar. The more classical side, I think that's the main point of the festival. Plus at the end going a little bit more to the Spanish and to the popular, which are my roots, because I was born in South Spain. And I think that the guitar is a very old and a very young instrument at the same time, and I'm a very good friend for experimentation, you know, and that's why I wanted to try, you know, how would this music, particularly in this hall, sound after so many great artists from the 20th and 21st century have played it.
Did you ever try to play this, for example, Beethoven arrangements for any pianist?
It's the first time I play them tonight, so it's like they are really fresh, and they are not still I think quite ready, because I'm still making some changes, and I want to continue with the experimentation. I already talked with some pianists, and they already told me you should transcribe this sonata or this other sonata. And of course, it's not a thing I want to stay forever only doing that. But I think in my case, there's always a musical satisfaction, you know, of trying to go beyond the borders of our instrument, you know.
Would you recommend to do more transcriptions to any other guitarists, or it is just your way and you just doing that without any kind of recommendation to everybody? Guys, we need to transcribe more, we need to play more different music.
You know, I think it's very interesting because, for example, one of the Chopin I played tonight, my mother, she's a pianist, you know, and she was playing always this piece at home. She doesn't play anymore, so I always had this kind of music on my mind. And then I found that Tárrega did an arrangement, you know, and I played for a while his arrangement, but then I decided, but it doesn't convince me too much because it's not the original key, and I want to exactly listen what my mother plays. So I went to the original key. have to listen to a lot of music and then see, okay, which music do fit with our personality and with our taste and with our just with our artistic goals, you know. But if it's Beethoven, it's Beethoven. If it's Chopin, it's Chopin. If somebody wants to play, I don't know, Sonatina by Ponce, it's also fine. If you want to arrange a Cuban bolero, it's also fine. It's about, I think, in the end, what matters, you know, it's playing for the public, and the public has to see a very authentic musician and artist, you know. Because if you are playing something that you don't really love or something that you don't really believe, it's kind of fake. I like this surprise that you get when you play a piece that you didn't expect to listen on the instrument, and then even if you imagine how it's going to sound, when you play it, our instrument is so magical that you always get new like feedback, you know, from the instrument. And I think this kind of conversation between the guitarist and the instrument is very, very enriching as a musical way. I play almost every concert Spanish music. If I don't play Spanish music, I think I would go home and be depressed, you know. Probably. It's like, oh, it wasn't a real concert, you know.
Ce soir, c'est Judicael Perroy après le concert en salle Tchaikovsky à Moscou. Je suis très content d'avoir joué ici et de faire une vidéo pour Guitar Magazine.
Is it true that you're practicing at home and you turn on your TV, and you also, I heard that you tell your students that to be more concentrated, just turn on the TV and then try to practice like that.
I do that, but I think I don't say that to my students. I guess it's a very strong resume. No, I mean, sometimes I guess some passages, but just for technical reason, of course. I mean, some passages can work just if you don't have to think that you do something difficult. So I guess this is the goal. With the kids, when I used to teach to kids, sometimes I was forcing them to read something at the same time they do exercise, just to be sure that it's like when we walk on the street, we can talk and walk at the same time. Most of the people can do that.
In my opinion, you are one of those guys who can do absolutely perfect job on the instrument without any kind of mistakes or something like that. I mean, the technical thing. Can you tell our audience how to reach that?
I think one of the main things is to don't put that as a goal, because in fact you just do that just to be free to think just about the music. So of course, so I guess each person has to find his own way. Many people achieve that, and they all do a very different way, I must say. In terms of practicing, the way they practice can be very different. And I know lots of my students practice in a way I wouldn't stand to do it.
For example?
Like playing everything incredibly slow, but not slow, but very, very slow. I never did that because I can't stand doing that anyway. And the only bad part of what I did is sometimes when there's something difficult, I just stop to do it, and I just don't really try to do it. So when it's really difficult for me, it doesn't mean that it's difficult. Probably I will give up most of the time, which is totally the opposite of what I say to my students, because with them I try to find a way to do all the stuff. But me, it was all the time like this. When there is something very I can't do, I just I wasn't used to really fight to do the things when I was young. I never really worked one specific passages. I used to don't say that on the past because some people think that you say that just to, I don't know, impress or whatever, but it's not true. So I think the only stuff is the results. It's not very important to know how you reach the result.
What do you do if you have some difficulties in the piece? Do you change the piece?
Now, yes, I change the piece. Yes, I really respect a lot the piece I play. I mean, I will not cheat and change notes or do stuff like this. I will never do that. But I guess, yes, I will just change the piece.
But if you really love the piece, if you really want to play that, and
I don't know. Let me think. I try to find. I guess it's a little bit like I will repeat. The only thing is I don't want to. It's terrible to explain that, but I really don't want to think about technical passages. I will repeat, and after a while it just changed by himself. So it makes no sense, but I just repeat the piece from the beginning to the end, from the beginning to the end, from the beginning to the end. So I lose probably a lot of time, but at least it worked more or less for me like this. And most of the time it's fixed by itself. It was all the time my way to learn, even at school. I was just reading, and after that I knew it.
So the system is repeating?
For me, yes. I just repeat, and fingering, this hand, of course, I do a lot of fingering because it's important for the music, but this hand, I will never do any fingering like many people, and I will not try to spend time to do, okay, let's do that now. I just always did like this. But it's not my way of teaching, of course.
And what is your way of teaching?
I try to be clever, actually. I really think a lot. And the thing is, I hope I am kind of objective because I never use, this is why my students, for example, I never gave any transcription I've done, or I never give one fingering like this, because there's some pieces. And the thing is, I try to teach pieces I never play. I really hate when it's pieces I play. So I know some teachers prefer to teach on pieces they know, but for me it's a nightmare. When it's a piece I really know very well, I really try to don't teach it. So sometimes I don't have the choice because the guy wants to play that, but I really try to avoid this situation. For me, I feel totally free if I don't know the piece, and I don't use my own fingerings, I don't use my own transcription, and I can be open for the student.
Asked this question to Yasuji, and what about the difference between playing here and playing, for example, in Paris? I mean, difference in the public, in the feeling, and maybe in repertoire, or any kind of difference you see and you can mention, good or bad, it doesn't matter.
Yeah, of course. I would do a difference between playing here or playing in a guitar festival, better than playing here in Moscow or in Paris. I mean, if I play in Paris in the same circumstance with the same kind of public, probably it will be pretty similar because it will be more or less the same kind of people. But the difference is huge with what we have in traditional guitar festival. First, because there's more people on the whole. This is one of the difference, and second because it's people who don't play the guitar or who are not totally guitar fan. We play, both of us. I mean, Yasuji in guitar festival or guitar society. So sometimes there are a lot of people, but there are people who play the guitar or teach the guitar, who are students or big guitar fan. So it's a little bit different. For the program, I think I didn't really thought too much about the public. Actually, the only stuff I play, I was thinking maybe for the public was the Paganini, and it wasn't a good idea because I used to play that 10 years ago and just relearned for this, and I just don't want to play it anymore. So, I mean, if you play in front of people, you need to be confident in you, of course, but in the people who listen to you. So I think I was right to be confident because I see the people, even if they don't play the guitar themselves, they can really listen. Long pieces, I play one suite by Bach. I think 2 days ago Dila played the variation on La Folia, and I guess there were no problem. So I wouldn't try to consider people like okay, this public I will do that, this public I will do that.
So you don't make any changes?
No.
Differences in that?
Yes, the only difference I made, let's say, that was the Paganini, but those two Paganini pieces, they are not specially, you know, they are normal. I was just not playing that anymore, and I was playing a lot of Ponce because I recorded a CD by Ponce, so I didn't want to do 45 minutes of Ponce. That was the main thing.
Is it true that your grandfather was the king of the Côte d'Ivoire?
I can do.